There's no way these are spicier.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Oh, God.
Between The Bachelor, Selling Sunset, Kardashians, and Bravo, we are here to break down the biggest reality TV headlines of the week. So welcome back to our channel, everyone. Before we dive into all of the hot tea, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to help us get to 100,000 subscribers. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined with Morgan Wright and Allison Van Dam. I gotta know how you guys are doing and which show, genre are you most looking forward to chatting about today?
Hey, Zach. Well, thank you. I'm doing great. I gotta say, I'm most excited to talk about Kardashians today because Khloe was on Hot Ones and she dropped a little bit of tea that we as viewers of the Kardashians' new Hulu show have kind of been picking up on. So I thought it was really interesting that we got this now. So I'm excited to talk about that. What about you, Allison?
I am also excited for Kardashians, but am very excited to talk about Selling Sunset. We know they got renewed, and we know of a cast member who is not coming back, so I'm excited to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm probably most excited to talk about Selling Sunset as well, because there's some major updates, but we gotta start where we always start here, with Bachelor Nation. So the Bachelorette is just a few weeks away, and Jesse Palmer is sharing that this season is clothing optional for the suitors of Gabby and Rachel. Now, the premiere is July 11th and guarantees to be very hot and spicy. And as seen in the group cast photo, one mystery man is shirtless. And on night one, there were 4-legged animals, 2-legged animals, magic tricks, forklifts, and so much more. So I gotta know, put yourself in Gabby and Rachel's shoes. Let's pretend, Morgan, you're Gabby, Allison, you're Rachel. I'll be Jesse Palmer. What is the ideal night one entrance for you?
I loved when somebody showed up in it was like a Ford F-150 truck with a ball pit in the back. If the guy's really hot and he's got a nice suit on and he shows up with something fun and funny like a ball pit, I am in.
I like the goofy things and I like the big gestures, but I think in the grand scheme of everything, what would make me go and like pull someone and want to chat with them more is if they reference something from my season or if they reference something I said I was looking for, because then I know that they're actually paying attention, that they are there kind of for the right reasons and they care about me. And I think that would make me more likely to like look forward to a conversation with them.
Wow, Allison, you really channeled Rachel. You were like, my season. You really think you have your own season here, don't you? Allison, would you make a good Bachelorette? Like, tell me, what would your season entail?
Oh my gosh. I think it would be exhausting. And I think I would have trouble just like continuing to put myself out there time and time again. I think I would like have to really push myself not to shut down completely. But I think the travel could be really fun. I think it could be fun to just have a bunch of suitors like wanting to hang out with me. That would be fun. That would be an ego boost. But I think it could definitely be a very draining experience as well.
Yeah, well, me and Morgan are applying you for The Bachelor behind your back right now since they are casting. We weren't going to tell you, but it's getting closer. They might call you soon. So just, stay close to your phone over the next couple of weeks. On to our next topic. Peter Weber is still quite the catch. So it's been over 2 years since Peter Weber's disastrous Bachelor finale. And we also know that he turned down Paradise this summer. But the ladies are still loving him. He was at Martha Stewart's recent event at the Oak Room in New York City, and women were reportedly flocking to Peter all night. Apparently, Peter stayed the whole entire night from the beginning to end, and spies tell Page Six that the women could not get enough of Pilot Pete. Morgan, you were on Pilot Pete's season. For everyone that does not know that story, like, are you surprised by this?
No, I'm not surprised at all. I feel like anytime you see anybody from Bachelor Nation as a commoner, you're gonna want to go approach them and talk to them, especially if you love the show. From my very brief interaction with Peter, he was very friendly. He was very attentive to whoever was talking to him. So I could definitely see why the ladies would still be approaching Peter. We did learn this week that he was supposed to go to Paradise, ended up not going because they couldn't agree on, I'm assuming, a monetary amount. So he's just going to the Oak Room in NYC instead to hopefully find true love there.
Wait, so Morgan, you said it was a brief interaction with Peter. So were you eliminated night one? Like, what happened?
I wasn't even there, to get a rose or to, go on a date with Peter. I was actually doing side commentary for their football date. Anytime they have like a sports date, they have two people there doing commentary, and they were in Cleveland. I don't know why they chose me to do it.
Here we are. It is the Bachelor Bowl 2019.
That's right. The losers are going to be going home while the winners are going to hang out at the after party and spend more time with Peter, which is what they're all here for.
But I took it. I was there all day for like 12 hours and I talked to Peter for maybe 10 seconds. So no, I didn't get his rose, but I felt a connection between the two of us. Obviously not one that lasted though.
Yeah, and Allison, you're a huge Peter fan, right? Like a stan, right?
I wouldn't call myself that. I didn't have a ton of feelings towards Peter when he was cast during his season. We even talked about this yesterday of, the whole Dumois thing of, some Bachelor alum left because he wasn't recognized and that really rubbed him the wrong way. A lot of people thought that was Peter. So I don't know. My current opinion of him is that boy might have a little bit of an ego.
Ooh. Well, the girls are still loving him, though. So do we think that he's going to find love in New York City with Martha Stewart?
Maybe.
Allison?
Who knows?
Okay. Well, it was interesting because, the news just came about him not going to Paradise. And I saw a bunch of people, commenting that, it's a good thing he didn't go because we're at a shortage of pilots right now, which is probably because of The Bachelor, since they just keep casting pilots. So I think it's really important that we keep flying these planes. But Morgan, what do you got for us today with the latest in Kardashian news?
Yeah, so Khloe Kardashian was on Hot Ones this week, which if you don't know what that is, they sit down with Sean Evans and they eat hot wings. And it's just hilarious. It's a 20-minute YouTube show. And Khloe actually explained editing fails that we have been seeing a lot of in the show recently. So there's been a lot of press about this, more recent editing fail about the family meeting when the family found out that that Tristan was having a child with another woman that's not Khloe. Very long story short, it made it seem like it was the next day. They actually shot it 2 months later due to some internet sleuths. So Khloe was on Hot Ones with Sean Evans, and she admitted that she does tend to notice that stuff.
I can tell when some audio has been put in, if they need to reshoot audio, or if a phone call is faked, and not that those things didn't happen, but sometimes they didn't catch the audio, or sometimes the mics go out, so I understand that a lot of it might be really how it was.
She said she was really aware of those things watching other reality shows. So do we believe this excuse from Khloe that maybe it was something like the audio was bad or the mics went out, or do you think they really staged this family meeting and it never really happened?
It's interesting with the Kardashians because they've gotten so much criticism this past season with the editing and the Kendall Jenner and out of order things. And I don't know if it's just something that happens on every reality show or if it's just and that we're just paying such close attention to the Kardashians so we can really pick up on these things. Or if it's just this is a TV show, this is what happens, sometimes audio, sometimes filming. So I don't really know what to believe. All I know is they better get it together for season 2.
I myself am such a stickler for continuity. So I feel I notice this as Khloe said, in a lot of reality shows. We're about to talk about Selling Sunset. There were some fails of this past season of Selling Sunset too. Christine, when she attended that tea party, there's some footage of her with a blue hat and some footage of her with a pink hat. And I've noticed that in other seasons too, whatever season it was where Christine was whipping her ponytail around. There's a different scene later in the thing where you can see it's still messed up, despite I think it was Heather that helped her fix it at some point. Everything is edited out of order. And I think sometimes, a lot of the times, it is a technical thing. It is filming. You have to redo some things. Now, I would have thought that they would have realized the audio issues either as they were filming or when they, took that footage later that day. Not sure why we had to wait months for them to refilm that. So that's where my confusion lies of why it took so long to kind of recreate that scene.
So that made a lot of headlines, but nothing really compares to the headline we saw this week of Khloe Kardashian potentially having a new man? Page Six came out with this report earlier this week that Khloe was dating someone new. The report said that Khloe met a private equity investor at a dinner party through her sister Kim, and that the two hit it off. Reports are saying that they're in the early stages, but Khloe is feeling really good. This comes just days after she shut down rumors that she was dating another basketball player. This was a blind item on Dumois. Khloe commented and said, "Not true. I'm not seeing a single soul." So do we think she's trying to keep her new relationship under wraps, or is she really single? Allison, why don't you go first?
I find it weird that she did comment on that. Like, I just feel like it brought more attention to it. You know, you can start a random rumor saying any celebrity is currently dating someone else or make it really vague, but she almost gave more validity to it and more attention to it by commenting and refuting it. So I thought that was a little bit strange. And honestly, I'm excited by the idea of her dating, you know, an investor, someone she met at a dinner party, maybe someone who has a little bit more of a normal private life. We need to get Khloe off of these, you know, off of the basketball players, off of someone, you know, who might have their own press and their own fame. You know, like, we've watched her for so many years be blamed that a basketball team isn't playing well and like all this other stuff. Like, I think it might be nice for her to just enjoy her new home with True, have a very private, normal relationship, because I think maybe that's what she's been missing this whole time by continuously dating other people in the spotlight.
And I actually like that Khloe responded to this like rumor on Dumois, because it was a blind item with like no validity. So Khloe was just like clapping back. And Khloe actually does this a lot when there's rumors about her on Dumois. Like, she actually does comment it and clear things up. I remember she did that with the Harry Jowsey rumor a couple months ago. So I like that she's like interactive with, you know, people on the internet, and she just likes to set the record straight. This whole like rumor that she's dating a private equity investor from like, you know, People and everything, that Kim set her up, it's just a little too convenient for me. It doesn't feel super authentic. It's just like, well, now like it just comes across too PR. So I'm gonna stick with Khloe and her comment that she's not dating a soul, which she commented a few days ago, and I think she's still single.
Okay, here's my conspiracy theory, because all the reports said that it was in the very early stages, okay? And we talked about the Hot Ones interview earlier. I watched it today, and she said, the filming crew is here with me. So they are filming for season 2 right now. Everyone knows, what do people want to see in season 2? They want to see Khloe Kardashian dating somebody new. So what better way to kind of draw people in for a season 2 than to plant this seed right now while they're filming things? And then, you know, however many months down the road, we're going to get the trailer for season 2, and we're going to see Khloe in her early stages, who knows if it's real or not, going out with somebody new. I think that's going to be a huge draw in season 2. I don't know if it's real. I don't know if they're just trying to give the people what they want, but it's the Kardashians. They know what they're doing. And I feel like she refuted one rumor. She didn't refute the other one. She very easily could have, you know, doubled down on the fact, and she didn't. So I think that there's some things going on behind the scenes. But we do have some other very exciting news in one of our favorite shows, Selling Sunset. I know, Zachary, you have all the details on this.
Exciting, but also devastating news with Selling Sunset. We're going to get all into it, but the exciting news first is that they have been renewed for seasons 6 and 7. So the real estate agents are back, and the new seasons promise to be crazier than ever. Now, Heather also did just announce that she is doing a separate show with Tarek on HGTV. So I was super concerned that she wasn't going to come back to Selling Sunset, because, you know, Tarek couldn't really film too much with Selling Sunset because of like a network situation where you can't do both. But Heather confirms she's coming back, and a lot of the cast confirmed that they're coming back. You know, Chelsea posted about it, Mary, Chrishell. However, Christine has not posted about the news, and there is no word if she is returning to the new season or not. So I gotta know what you guys think. Do we think she bit herself in the foot and she's gonna get fired? Or do we think she's gonna return and they're just gonna kind of make it a little anonymous to keep us on her toes? Morgan, what do you think first?
I think the real issue with Christine is that she very publicly came for Adam DeVillo, the show creator. I feel like it kind of goes beyond the realm of the drama that's going on in the show. And now you're, you know, I don't want to say attacking because she was, speaking her truth. At least that's what she says. So I don't know. I think it's a fine line. And do you want to bite the hand that feeds you? Essentially, Adam DeVillo has the final say on who's going to be in the show or who's not. I think if Christine is correct in everything that she said about him, I think she will be fired. If it was just a publicity thing and maybe they're trying to use it to get more people to watch the show, I think that they probably will have a surprise return of Christine, where like maybe 1 or 2 episodes, she's not in the first one. And then we get the high heels clicking down the sidewalk and we get the generic, I'm a boss, bitch, the songs that they always play when they're walking into a scene. So I think maybe that might be how it plays out if she does come back.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it's been a very interesting time since this last season ended of all of them doing press and what we've heard. Mary Fitzgerald has been going on podcasts and doing press and talking about things like, we miss Christine from season 1. We don't know what's happened to her. She's like, doing all this stuff, even when the cameras stop rolling, she's become a completely different person. Then you have Christine doing like call her daddy and saying everything's edited and I'm always so friendly when I show up to set, but they keep me separated and they like feed these lies to the other women and say that I did X, Y, and Z. So it is really hard to know kind of who's telling the truth because it feels very she said at this point. But I'm with Morgan. She's kind of opened up this like Pandora's box. She's exposed the show and she's, even on Call Her Daddy, shown video footage of what the scene originally was versus what went on air. So, part of reality TV is we know it's maybe not all real, but we do have to feel like most of it is. And if she continues poking holes in kind of what this show is, there's a chance people will stop watching or don't watch it as much. And that's not something that Netflix or Adam DeVillo wants. So I'm with Morgan, maybe a smaller appearance, but I don't think she's going to continue being a main character of the show, especially now that she's starting her own brokerage with her husband.
It's going to be hard for her to come back. She really has revealed a lot of the behind the secrets, and she has also called the show trash and didn't show up to the reunion. So I do think she's going to come back, though. I think she's such a polarizing character. I just think she might miss the first episode or two, as in like punishment, which means she'll get paid less if they get paid per episode. And it will be more of like a, can Christine kind of make her way back in? And if she can, they'll keep her. If not, she might make a short appearance. But I don't think it's like goodbye for good. But I also wouldn't be surprised if in like a week or two, Christine Quinn leaving Selling Sunset and like it's the newest headline. So we'll have to wait and see. But we know there is one real estate agent that is not returning to the show, and that is unfortunately Maya. Now, sources tell TMZ that Maya has switched to a new real estate firm in Miami and that traveling back and forth is just too much for her with young kids. On top of that, Maya unfortunately just suffered a miscarriage 6 months into a new pregnancy, which she also suffered a stillborn last year, which we heard about at the reunion. So it's been really, really tough times for Maya. Will you guys miss Maya on the show? I think we can all agree that this is the best decision for her. So why don't you guys tell me your favorite memory of Maya on Selling Sunset? Allison, you start.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to miss Maya because she had the kind of like great balance of being like, I don't get involved in the drama, whatever. But then she would make these little like 1 or 2 sentence remarks, like even about Christine. She'd be like, I don't want to be involved. And then she'd just like spill some tea or just like say it like it was. Honestly, I even think back to like season 1 Maya, where she was touring that bachelor who was trying to hit on her and she was just not having it. She was like, I have a husband in Miami. Even when, in more recent seasons when they're talking about flying and flying private, and she's like, I'm in coach. It's the cheapest one. Like she just had these very like dry humor lines. And I loved her for that.
No, that's not how she talks. She's like, Christine. Morgan, are you going to miss Maya?
Yeah, I will. I really liked Maya. I'm not surprised. I feel like whenever, the news came out that she was going to Miami and starting her own brokerage to begin with, I kind of felt like it was the beginning of the end. It would be a lot for her to fly back and forth from Miami to Los Angeles. So I feel like it's a good time for her to go. She's moving on to the next phase of her career. Of course, I'll miss her. She gave us one of the most iconic memes from the last season of Selling Sunset, and that is as when Chrishell spilled the tea at the reunion that Chrishell was dating G Flip, and Maya's shocked face, I think, was all of us.
Just
So
like
at
this.
least, yeah, at least that iconic meme will live on forever thanks to Maya.
Christine, I'm gonna miss Maya. She's so funny. We know Chelsea will be back. Chrishell will be back. Mary, Romaine, the Oppenheim brothers. We also know that the Selling the OC, we got a premiere date for that. It's going to be August 24th. They're actually starting to do press now. So we'll be back next week to talk a little bit more about that. But Allison, what do you think we can expect in the new season? Do you think everyone else is going to return, like Vanessa? And do you think that it's possible G-Flip will make an appearance? Like maybe Chrishell will be training G-Flip as a new real estate agent at the O Group.
I was wondering about Vanessa as well. You know, last season ended with her going to the airport. We now know, you know, she is engaged. We saw that on Instagram. So at some point, you know, she and her fiance are going to have to decide where to move in order to not have their marriage be long distance as well. So honestly, she had a lot smaller of a role last season. I wouldn't be surprised if it's even smaller, or maybe if she does step away at some point. And G-Flip is for sure going to be on this season. I guarantee it. Like from a PR marketing perspective, maybe I was just living under a rock, but I've even seen comments of people saying no one knew who G-Flip was until Chrishell started dating them, until the reunion happened, until this music video. So if they know what's good for them in their career, they are going to be pushing this because everyone's watching Selling Sunset. You throw a G-Flip song in there as a soundtrack, suddenly it's getting stuck in people's heads. We can build two careers at once at this point between Chrishell and G-Flip, and I can see it happening.
Oh my God, the premiere episode is going to be a screening of G-Flip and Chrishell's music video. And like everyone's going to have to come and Jason's going to be there and it's going to be awkward. Cannot wait. I guess they're going to start filming this summer, so we probably won't get it until early next year. But we'll find out some, you know, updates and spoilers about it. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing it. Now, Morgan, you do have some Bravo news of the day to round us up. So what is going on The Real Housewives and with Bravo?
We're going to talk a lot about Erica Jane in this final section of our panel because Erica Jane is still refusing to hand over a pair of $750,000 earrings in her husband's bankruptcy case, and trustees are not happy about it. So this is a very long story short. Tom Girardi, Erica's husband, they're not divorced yet because legally they can't. His health is not well, so that's a whole nother story. But Tom Girardi was, you know, a very beloved lawyer in Los Angeles and Beverly Hills. You know, he was representing widows and orphans and plane crash victims, and he was embezzling money. So Erica, being married to somebody like that, is getting dragged into it. What did she know? What didn't she know? What does she have to pay? What doesn't she have to pay? Well, according to The Sun, Erica is being asked to hand over a pair of diamond earrings, now worth about $1.4 million, from her ex, Tom Girardi, in a lawsuit filed by a trustee for his firm, Girardi Keese. The trustee said her conduct appears to be a new crime. Her refusal to now turn over the diamond earrings is conversion, for which she can be held accountable in damages. They also said she can also be civilly liable for the value of the diamond earrings, plus statutory interest and punitive damages, which with prejudgment interest could easily be worth $5.4 million. Now, I know that's a lot of legal jargon that, you know, here at Shared News, we're not lawyers. But one thing is really clear. She is not willing to let these earrings go. Why not? Why do you think that she's holding on to these things so tightly?
It might be because it's the most expensive thing she owns. And she's, you know, kind of opened about how she's nervous about her finances now that she's lost her multi-million-dollar husband, and now she's kind of on her own and she's starting this hair thing. So I think she's just a little nervous about that. And I honestly think she should just do what the court says, give away these expensive things, because she was spending Tom's money to buy these earrings and jewelry and handbags and all this stuff that was supposed to go to the victims. So maybe if she just cooperates with the court and just do what she's told, she can get out of this sticky situation a lot faster and then move on with her life and sign the papers, get divorced, and enjoy the rest of her life without Tom in it. Now, Allison, I know you're our expert here when it comes to law and medicine and everything. So what is your 2 cents?
I love all of the titles I get at Shared News for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, at this point, they're not divorced. So depending on how they, if they had a prenup or they had any sort of contract together, depending on the structure of their finances, if they are still, legally tied as man and wife, yeah, that's kind of when she's in it if he's in it. So, I mean, the timing just didn't work out in her favor because I think all of this would be a bit different if that divorce had gone through, before all these allegations were coming out, before they're trying to take money back, get these damages. But at this point, they're in it together, unfortunately. So I'm with Zach. As hard as it is, I think she just has to do as she's told in order to not have it compound into in more trouble, or her needing to pay more, or her being, assisting in all of this being an issue. So I think she's just got to sit tight and do what she's told.
And even though she's not legally divorced, Erica revealed this week that she is dating again, but says it's been tough and that men are scared of her. So this week she went on E's Daily Pop. Erica said she was really socially awkward when it comes to dating, adding, "I say exactly how I feel and I realize that men don't like that. They say they want a woman that's forward, but they really don't." Erica also said, "They actually told me I'm afraid of you." And I was like, "Why? I'm modern. I thought I was doing what women are supposed to do, which is speak your mind and say what you like." And no. Would you be afraid to go on a date with Erica Jane?
No, but I think that I don't think people are afraid of her because of her bold personality. I don't think that at all. I think she's humorous. She's fabulous. I think people are just afraid of her because of her ex-husband and the lawsuit and all of these allegations. And I just don't think any guy would want to be associated with that, at least publicly, while all of this is so heavy in the media. So I don't think she'll have a problem finding a guy. I think there's plenty of guys who will be turned on by her. She's hot. She's spicy. She's forward. I just think right now, people are just not going to want to be associated with her because of all of this craziness that is going on. Like, this is lots of victims, money, lawsuits. Like, it's just such a mess. So, I mean, she did say that she's getting some good D on the side. So just enjoy that. And I think she still needs to find herself. I don't think she's ready for a relationship, and I don't think she will be for another year or two. I think that she really needs to kind of go through this, heartbreak and this loss of her old life that she had for so many years.
Allison, do you think that she should wait until the divorce is final, the case is settled, to start dating again?
I think definitely wait to have anything sort of serious if she's looking for a relationship and like one consistent person. I think at this point, if she and Tom are, separated and living their different lives, like, who's to stop her from having a hookup buddy or just like going out on the town, whatever. But like Zach said, it's just too much going on. She's coming in with so much baggage. And if at this point they're still trying to, pull money or gifts or anything she owns to pay off, this debt that they've accrued, then it's like, yeah, no one in their right mind is going to want to be in a relationship, let alone take it to the next step of moving in together or maybe like looking into engagement or marriage, because I would be thinking, okay, so am I supposed to now pay off, your ex-husband's like damages? That doesn't make any sense. So I think hooking up with people is fine. Live your best life. Do you? But I do not think that she should be getting into another serious relationship at this point unless everything with Tom is, tied up with a little bow and done.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%, Allison. I just feel like if she wants a healthy relationship, she needs to put all of this behind her before she can kind of move forward. To wrap up our panel this week, we have one more Bravo topic. There is a major feud going on right now between Vicki Gunvalson and Teddy Mellencamp. It's been on Twitter. It's been on Instagram. I'll just kind of give you the briefest recap possible. So Teddy tweeted something about watching a new TV show saying it's about a girl who scams her way into a job by lying about having cancer just feels so familiar, which is obviously a knock at Vicki Gunvalson, who dated Brooks Ayers, who allegedly was faking having cancer. So Vicki replied to that tweet and said, wow, low blow. You know nothing about what transpired with my ex. This is why you only lasted 3 years, me 14. To which Teddy responds, well, if we're talking numbers, could you let all of us know where you were on January 6th, referencing the Capitol insurrection? I mean, what is going on here? So many thoughts to unpack in just 3 little tweets. What is your initial response to this, Allison?
Like chaos. Like they woke up and they chose violence. Like it was low to begin with. Like it was a call out, but it just continued building and they kept like outdoing each other. And when I read that January 6th tweet, like you just saw, like my jaw dropped. Like and the fact that this is just happening on Twitter for the entire world to see, I'm like, holy cow, ladies, let us just simmer. Let's take it down a notch. This is not necessary.
I mean, Vicki started it. Vicki definitely started it. I think Vicki is just jealous that Tamra, her best friend from the OC, started a podcast with Teddy, and it's been really successful. They've been spilling a bunch of tea on all of the housewives. So I think Vicki is just a little pressed about that because she wanted to do a podcast with Tamra. And one thing about Vicki, and I'm watching Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip right now, I mean, Vicki will just never change. She's so stuck in her ways. She's ridiculously ignorant. She is so beyond petty, so immature, and she's met her match with Teddy because Teddy will throw it right back at you. I also think Teddy is just a little salty that she's not on Ultimate Girls Trip because I think she would have done really good with that bunch and that she should have been there with the rest of the ladies because this would have been a great feud for Ultimate Girls Trip. We already know Vicki is feuding with Dorinda and Brandi Glanville on the show. I'm a couple episodes in, so it's just a little messy, and I'm not expecting it to die down anytime soon. Morgan, I don't know if you knew this, but Vicki was also on the podcast as a guest like a month ago. So it's kind of just a funny full circle moment.
Yeah, and just to kind of reiterate what you said, I definitely think there's some jealousy involved because we got a little more context when the feud moved over to Instagram, where Teddy posted this interview clip of Vicki and Tamra. They were doing an interview, I believe, with Entertainment Tonight about Ultimate Girls Trip.
We are literally supporting Bravo. We have some of the best guests on
We're
our
not
show.
pitching the Two T's and a Teapot podcast right now.
Well, we're talking about the
Okay,
podcast. Okay.
Let's just.
She loves that I have a podcast with Teddy.
You don't like Teddy Mellencamp?
I don't know Teddy Mellencamp, but I don't like Teddy Mellencamp.
If you don't know her, how do you not like her?
I don't know.
Vicki said, I don't know Teddy Mellencamp, but I don't like Teddy Mellencamp. Which seems like a strange thing to say. And Teddy actually took that clip of Vicki, posted it on her Instagram and said, I can only hope Vicki Gunvalson got paid in gas cards because her love tank seems like it's stuck on empty lately. Hope this post doesn't have her calling my iHeartRadio boss to try to take my job again. That's in reference to the podcast that they do together that Zachary was telling us about. To which Vicki responds, what the heck? I never tried to take your job. I'm good, honey. I have a career, Kodo Insurance, and work with Detcom. Oh, and my love tank is full. It's not stuck on empty at all. That was rude. Please don't use me for content on your podcast. Whose team are you on in this feud, Vicki versus Teddy? Zach, go first.
I'm going to go with Teddy. I think Vicki started it. I think Vicki is jealous, and I think Teddy is just the type of person that will go right for the low. She doesn't want to start the fights, but if someone starts with her, she'll go right for it. So I'm going to go with Teddy on this one. Vicki instigated it yet again.
Yeah, I agree. She started the whole thing, and yeah, Teddy could have just, laid low and taken the higher road. We know she wasn't going to do that. So it just continued to escalate. Like they're just the right personalities to constantly be butting heads with each other and not let the other have the last word. So that's why it became as big of a thing as it did. But I'm with Zach. Vicki started stirring the pot first. So it just needs to die down and be done.
Morgan, which side are you on?
Oh, definitely Team Teddy. I mean, Vicki has just been in the middle of so much drama lately, whether it's between her and Dorinda, her and Teddy. It's like the common denominator here is Vicki. I feel like Vicki is jealous. She uses that a lot, that she was on for 14 years. Like, okay, We know that. What's your point? You know, like that doesn't make you better than anybody else. That doesn't mean you have one set of rules and the rest of the world doesn't. Because you were on 14 years doesn't mean you automatically get to do a podcast with Tamra. Like, just because you were on for 14 years does not mean you can do whatever you want. So I just feel like it's kind of a lame excuse. She came at Teddy for no reason, just because she's jealous. So I know a lot of people don't like Teddy. I feel like I feel like sometimes it's unwarranted. Was she the greatest housewife of all time? No, but she really does get beat up a lot online for a bunch of different reasons. So for this one, we're going to go with Team Teddy. We got her back this time.
Yeah, maybe Teddy just wants to stand up for herself, because you're right, Morgan. She does get beat up a lot, and she just wants to be like, you can't mess with me. Like, enough is enough. So yeah, we're going to give Teddy this one. Now, Allison, before we wrap up, I know you're not the biggest Housewives fan, but if you were to dive in fully to a franchise, would you dive into New York City, New Jersey, Beverly Hills, or Orange County?
Beverly Hills for sure. There's just such like the original classic, that's like the one that sticks out to me, because if I'm not starting with Beverly Hills, then I don't feel like there's a point. You got to lay the groundwork. You got to get your foundation. And I think that's Beverly Hills.
Yeah, Beverly Hills is one of the most popular ones, so it's definitely a good choice. There's a lot of luxury there. Well, these were our top reality TV headlines and breakdowns for the week, so be sure to let us know in the comments, what are your hot takes? What are some of your favorite shows? Definitely let us know. And before you head out of here, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell, because we'll be back with more videos. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, with Morgan Wright and Allison Van Dam. Our social media handles are on the screen right now, so be sure to give us a follow. Come say hello. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will catch you in the next one. See you later.